Alright, so we're going to take a look at Star Trek Deep Space Nine Defiant, and we're going to find out some of the data tables for some of the ships from some of the information we can get from the ship. So we know the ship shields are 1,040,000, weapons are 970,000. How do we know that? We'll find out. The Defiant was attacked by an upgraded Excelsior known as the Lakota. Lakota was an upgraded vessel that had Type X phasers. It had shot the Defiant 16 times before its shields went down, so that's why we know the shields are 1,040,000. We also know this ship carried 4 pulse phaser cannons and 3 Type X phasers and 2 torpedo launchers capable of launching quantum torpedoes. So that's all the armament that we would see on the Defiant. I also want to take a moment to talk to you about the 4 pulse phaser cannons. So in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine tech manual, it talks about this weapon in great detail, and it discusses it in strength value, and it's about the same as a Type X phaser. So that means that each little pulse is delivering 32,500 terawatts of damage. And it also corresponds with the Burrell class vessel and the Katang class bird of prey, which is also 32,500 terawatts of damage per disruptor bolt. I don't know if this was a sharing of technology or not between the Federation and Klingon, but I just thought that that was kind of unique and strange that those numbers calculate together. But anyways, so that means 2 bolts, which would come each weapon would shoot, and it would have 2 bolts on each side. Each side is 32,500. So that means the 4 bolts altogether are 130,000 terawatts of damage. Before we continue, I just want you to understand that most of these ratios are based on bolts, not volleys, but bolts. So now you can see the connection between the phase cannon and the Type X phaser and the Klingon weapons. So it only takes 6 bolts from the Defiant to destroy a Jim-Hadar cruiser, and it takes only 6 shots to destroy a Hidiki as well. Okay, so now what you've been waiting for. Voila. Here you go. Here's the data table we've been discussing. So here it tells you about the weapons that the ship has, 4 pulse phaser cannons, 3 Type X phasers, and 2 torpedo launchers. Torpedo launchers are capable of launching quantum torpedoes, and you can see the values. The pulse cannons are 32,500, Type X phasers 65, torpedoes 65, quantums 325,000. Now, some of the interesting things that I found by watching Deep Space Nine and slowing the videos down and counting how many times the ship got shot and all these other wonderful things. So when they were attacking this thing right here, these little, I don't know what you call these things, these little defense towers, that that right there, were attacking those portable defensive I don't know what these are, but anyway, I can't remember what they're called, but Cardassian defense platforms. But the Defiant that was fighting that battle was the upgraded Defiant because Defiant had been blown up, I guess. And so, or it was upgraded. I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly. I think that maybe in the original fight was upgraded. But anyways, when this is happening, there's 2 different Defiants. The first Defiant that fights the Dakota had a shield matrix of 1,040,000. We know that because the Dakota shot it 16 times, and so that's what that would come out to with the Type X phaser. And the Dakota was an upgraded vessel with the Excelsior with Type X phasers. And then when they attacked that enemy I don't know, home station plant, whatever you want to call it. The episode is DS9 Tears of the Prophets, What You Leave Behind. I just could hardly believe how much damage the ship was taking, how many times it got shot, and with those kind of weapons, because those platform weapons were using incredibly huge power outputs. And they were like the torpedoes were quantum level, and then the phasers were some of the highest of any of the weapons that we see. There were some 400 something terawatts. I can't remember exactly. They're on some of their data sheets that we'll discuss later. But basically, once you do the ratio, it comes to 6,240,000. So that Defiant at that time was just a beast, and it just seemed kind of strange. But then I forgot that the Defiant itself was actually the flagship of the Ninth Fleet at that time. And so then it kind of made more sense that they would have done something like that. So I believe, and this is speculation, that the 6,200 or the 6,240,000 is probably a shield matrix that was originally designed for maybe a Southern class vessel. It's a speculation. Tell me what you think. But now we're going to move on. So you can see the Jem'Hadar fighter, it's able to take 6 shots before it dies. So it gives it a shield matrix of 195,000. The Hidiki is the same. The Kelton class ship is the Cardassian's main cruiser, loses 30% of its shields after being hit with 10 bolts and 4 quantum torpedoes. So we know the exact shields are 2,166,666 for the Kelton class Cardassian cruiser. We also know that there are several variants of the bird of prey, and some of the variants that were destroyed by this vessel, one had a shield matrix of 390,000, so I believe that would probably be the bird of prey scout, and I believe that the other one that it destroyed, which took 16 shots, which is 520,000, would most likely have been a newer version known as the Burrell. Also, we can note that the Breen were destroyed by 4 quantum torpedoes, meaning that the Bree's shields and armor level is 1,300,000. Now, the reason I say that is the Bree ship lost its shields after 14 bolts. So we know that the Bree shields are 9,000 or 910,000 terawatts. And then this one is also speculation, but the Nigvar in the alternate universe took 3,965,000 terawatts of damage before its shields, that took that much damage with its shields then collapsing. So I don't have, I mean, you'll have to make your decision if this is, you think this correlates or not, but I did it. So the Nigvar in the alternate dimension, I'm using for my calculations for the Nigvar in the Prime universe. And then the last one is that the Raiders, the little Maquis ships, the little junky old ships or old patrol vessels, that thing is able to take 5 shots from the Defiant, which means that that little ship is 162,000 or 162,500 terawatts of shields. So it's really quite weak. And yeah, so this is all the information and data tables and stuff that you're able to get from the Deviant, from Deep Space Nine, from the canon sources. So all these things that are in here would be data tables based on canon sources. I hope you guys liked it. So I really like you guys to leave a comment. Do you think that I should have been using the calculation for the alternate universe Nigvar with the Prime universe or not? What do you think?